A student appears for the tests 1, 2 and 3. The student is successful if he passes either in test 1 and 2 or in tests 1 and 3. The probabilities of the student passing in tests 1, 2 and 3 are P, Q and 1 by 2 respectively. If the probability that the student is successful is 1 by 2, then which of the following is going to be true? Now here, dear students, there are two cases in which he is going to be declared as successful. That is, if he clears the test 1 and 2 or if he clears the test 1 and 3. So in these two cases, he is going to be declared as successful. Now as you can understand, clearing the first test, the probability is given to be P. Clearing the second test, the probability is given to be Q. Clearing the third test, the probability is given to be half. Now the probability that he is successful is given to be 1 by 2. Now let us understand, children. Probability that the student is successful is given to be half. Now can we consider all the cases in which he is going to be successful? Now he will be successful if he passes in the first test and fails in the second test and passes in the third test. This is one of the cases in which he will be still successful, passing in the first test and the third test but failing in the second test. That's still okay. Or you will note that they are all mutually exclusive. That's why I am able to write directly as plus. He passes in the first test and passes in the second test but fails in the third test. That's still okay. Still he is declared successful. And the last case is when he passes in the first test and he also passes the second test and he also passes the third test. In all these three cases, he is going to be declared as successful. Now let us write down. You can understand that him passing in the first test, passing in the second test, passing in the third test are going to be independent. So P of A intersection B intersection C would be P of A into P of B into P of C. So probability that he passes in the first test. What is the probability that he passes in the first test? That's P. Probability that he fails in the second test, that's Q bar, which is 1 minus Q. Probability that he passes in the third test, that's nothing but 1 by 2. Right? This is one possibility. The other possibility is going to be probability that he passes in the first two tests and fails in the third test. So that's going to be passing in the first test, that's P. Passing in the second test, that is Q. And failing in the third test. So that's going to be 1 minus 1 by 2, which is 1 by 2. Then the final one, that's going to be nothing but passing in all the three tests. So that's nothing but passing in the first test and passing in the second test and passing in the third test. So that's going to be 1 by 2 as well. I hope you have been able to clearly understand how this sum has to be solved till now, dear students. Let us now continue with this particular question. So here there are three particular cases in which the student will be successful. So let's write it down once again. So the probability the student will be successful is nothing but when he passes the first test, fails in the second test and passes the third test, or passes the first test, passes the second test, fails in the third test, or passes in all the three tests. That's passes in the first test, passes in the second test and also passes in the third test. So he passes in the first test and in the second test and also in the third test. So now when I simplify this, I get P into 1 minus Q divided by 2 plus PQ by 2 plus PQ by 2 gives us PQ. So from all of this I can take P outside. So this will become 1 into 1 by 2, which is 1 by 2, minus Q into 1 by 2, that's minus Q by 2 plus a Q. So that would be P into LCM is 2. I have 1 minus Q plus 2Q will become plus Q. So we get it as P into 1 plus Q by 2. Now what is the first option? First option says P is 1 and Q is 0. Is it correct? Yes, if I substitute 1, this will be 1, and when I say this is 0, 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 divided by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2 into 1, 1 by 2. So the equation is satisfied because the probability that he is successful is also given to us, that's 1 by 2. Now this is the equation. If you see, if I substitute P as 1 and Q as 0, satisfied, condition is satisfied, equation is satisfied. Now if P is equal to 2 by 3, now if P is equal to 2 by 3 and Q is equal to 1 by 2, let us see what happens. So this would be 2 by 3 multiplied by 1 plus 2 by 3, right children? So let us write it down. 2 by 3 multiplied by 1 plus, Q, that's nothing but 1 by 2, the whole thing divided by 2. So when we simplify this, 1 plus half is 3 by 2, 3 by 2 and 2 by 3 will cancel, you will get 1 by 2. So the second condition also satisfies, is it not? So the first condition satisfies, second condition also satisfies. In fact, can you guess, dear students, how many different options can we substitute for P and Q? In fact, we can substitute infinitely many solutions, is it not? So infinitely many solutions is also correct. So the third option is also correct. Therefore, the right answer for this question is all the above. All the options are correct. Dear students, I hope you have clearly understood how this question needs to be solved. Therefore, the right answer for this question is all of the above, which is the fourth option.